All right. What kind of vibe do you want to have? Do you want like a physical vibe? Do you want like a talky-talky vibe? What?
I'm ready for a physical vibe.
Physical vibe. Physical. Isn't that like a Madonna song? Let's get physical.
No, it's
Oh,
Olivia Newton-John.
Olivia Newton-John.
Yeah.
Let's get physical. With their little headband on.
Yeah.
Let's get together or something like that.
That's all I had was the let's get physical. I'm sure my friend
Is that also
knows the
Let Me
rest.
Hear Your Money Talk? Is that the same song or no? Let me hear your money talk. No?
No, different song.
That's a different song? Okay. These are all talky things or caramel dancing. Oh God.
How about we get
can
the
also do
slowed
talking
down version? No.
I was feeling this song a little too much, and I was like, oh, I feel like I'm going to turn to another.
All right, we'll do talky talk. Talky talk. Welcome to everybody. Welcome to our brand new topic. It's 8:34 Talky Talk. I'm your host, Good Talksman Serge, and today's Talky Talk topic is brought to you by our sponsor.
Yes.
What is the best job you've ever had?
The best job?
I would argue that I am currently working the best job I've ever had.
Same.
Which is being a creator. The fact that I can pay my bills by playing video games and being an internet clown is constantly shocking, and something that I kind of fell into backwards. So thank you to everybody who lets me do that. Do you have a good answer now? Do you want to give it a second?
I'll give you a second.
Yeah. Carrie, what's the best job you've ever had?
Hard same.
Yeah?
Like doing the edits and occasional on-screen presences or on-mic presences for Playframe is the best job I've ever done.
Heck yeah.
Second would be any of the copy centers, but probably Staples on West Broadway.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I like.
Copy centers are like a cool place to work, a really interesting place to work, where like there's a lot to do and a fair amount of creative input into it, and it's an enjoyable. I would go back to it if I had to.
I do like including the second best. Probably the second best job I ever had was when I got to do very small. I got to lead very small group coffee tastings.
Oh,
So I'd have like
dang.
4 to 8 people come and join me in the Fernwood Roastery. And I'd be like, great, I'm going to talk about espresso for 90 minutes and just make like small batches of drinks and just absolutely nerd out.
Oh my god.
That's my favorite of your hobbies. Because you still do that sometimes for friends.
Yeah, I will do that for friends every now and
Yeah,
then too.
yeah.
But that was, I have so much more access though when it was like the roastery and I could touch stuff and I'd be like, these beans, yeah. And when I'm at a cafe, I'll be like, I will pay someone else. But that was great.
Oh man.
So cool.
I've done a lot of different jobs,
Yeah.
but the one that I think that I have the best memories from and always reflect back upon is when I worked in Toronto. We had a camp where we took troubled youth and psychiatrically disordered youth into the woods for 9 weeks with no electricity and no
9
running
weeks?
water.
Whoa.
And my job was to like teach them skills.
Dang.
And because of who I am, I was stuff like a good example was we did a canoe trip, right? So we had like 5 canoes and 10 kids and a few staff, and you know, on paper, one of those kids was a blind schizophrenic. That just adds for adventure when you're out
wow.
canoeing in the water. And so Kate being Kate, you know, we would get to these portages because we were following the old voyageur routes, and you'd have to carry the canoe for a really long way. And because I'm so darn tall, I always had to be in the back of the canoe.
Oh no.
And so then I had a child and or fellow staff up front who was obviously a foot shorter than I was. So then I did all the portages blind with a canoe hat on. So,
The strangest bird.
Yeah, it was great.
Like a beak.
It was great, and I was, you know, I wouldn't let kids eat dinner until they hugged a tree.
Oh.
There was a lot of eye rolling over that, like, Kate, you can't do that, it's against the law. And I'm like, well, you're a long way from civilization. Do you want food?
It's a nice dinner you have there here for someone to have.
So-
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
So,
like this. This really was meant for you.
yeah, so I did that for 15 years
Oh man.
or longer. So, yeah, like that, only
See?
worse.
Yeah.
It's like a strange bird.
And then my second, if we're going to go second.
Please, yes.
Yeah.
Again, I've done many, many, many different kinds of employment, but to put myself through college, I worked in the restaurant industry.
Yep.
So I mostly worked back end in the kitchen, but I did work for several months as the bouncer,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Dang.
as a girl bouncer. Oh yeah, that's a very different role.
Did you bounce specifically girls, or do you just
Unfortunately,
mean you
that's
were?
kind of where it ended up.
Oh, interesting. I went to university. There's a girl in my class who was like the only female bouncer, but she was like a heavyweight boxer. And her job was not just to bounce the female. She bounced everybody.
No, so I wasn't that kind of bouncer.
Okay.
My methodology is probably not dissimilar as with the little kids. Hi, how's it going? Why don't we go for a little walk? Yeah, get them out the door.
Right, take them into the
Done.
house for 9 weeks and never hear from them again.
Yeah, yeah. So I never really had to do the physical part.
I think sometimes, but like, I honestly believe a good bouncer is somebody who de-escalates,
Yeah,
not somebody
and
who gets handy, right? So no, I think you probably
And
did a great job.
That's kind of the problem with being like a female bouncer, even if you have the physical prowess to take on drunken, larger people, is that you often look like a fun target.
That they won't de-escalate.
Yeah, de-escalating is harder when you don't have the physical intimidation.
Well, I'd love to follow that up.
Oh, go for
Please.
it.
Go for it.
So, if my current employer is watching, this job I have now, my favorite job.
Best job in the world.
Best job in the world. Alternatively, it was kind of like an internship because it wasn't paid very much, but I worked in operations at Star Wars Celebration 4 in Los Angeles, which was bonkers, just the opportunity. I'm such a Star Wars fan. Like, I read the extended universe, so it's probably good that they didn't know that at the time, because I was nerding out so much. And I got to lead a battalion of stormtroopers down the street with the help of the LAPD for Darth Vader to come down, and it was just like a dream, and I really loved that experience. So that was my first foray into live events, and I was like, they must all be like this. They are not. I guess my second favorite, I spent a holiday dealing fantasy blackjack. That sounds sexier than it is. It basically, like, if you work at a fancy technology place, like I won't say any real names, so like Microsoft, and you have a holiday party and you have like music and you want to entertain your guests, then you have like these little casino tables. That's just like fake money, and then you use that fake money to like get prizes. And so I learned how to count to 21 a lot.
Oh,
Yeah.
always working after the 11 a.m. hour, I see.
Yes. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, I can't.
Yeah.
And I had to train for months to get into that mathing shape. So it would take me a while to get back to that stage. It was fun though, in the sense that I got to use my high school band cummerbund that I used.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
The oboe. I didn't really think I'd have another opportunity for sort of like the tuck shirt, cummerbund and tie, but I did. So
Break it out. Nice.
that's my answer.
Awesome.
James, do you have a favorite job?
Best job, and you can have a runner-up if you want to.
Oh, best job?
Yeah.
I mean, my work history is very
Very
minimal.
stable, right?
Yeah.
You've had
so like
Two jobs.
I've had I would consider 3, technically 3.5, because like when I was a kid I had the newspaper.
I didn't know that one. I know that James has worked at McDonald's.
Yep.
He has done blinds installation.
Yeah.
And he has had and loading ready run.
Yeah. Those are my 3 jobs, and then if you want to include Paperboy, I had like the 2-day-a-week paper, and then I had the 7-day-a-week first thing in the morning paper. That one sucked. Terrible at it. I did it with Bill, in fact. We split that paper for about 1.5 years where we're like, this is
Yeah.
terrible.
And then I'd have to drive them because they would be like, it's raining and I don't want to go. Can you drive us?
It was definitely, you or my dad did it sometimes, or Chris did it sometimes.
A lot of driving the paper boys around.
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously, my current job is my best job, without question. But there are aspects of my other jobs that I loved. Obviously, I loved the installing was a lot of driving around the city. It was a lot of, obviously, physical activity, which was nice. Working with a lot of different people and meeting new people was a lot of fun. So I did enjoy that one a lot. And honestly, I loved working at McDonald's. I mean, it's hard also not to actually say McDonald's was my best job because it led to my wife. So, that's where I met.
Awesome.
Yeah, correct. So pretty high up there.
It is interesting to me that you look back fondly on a fast food job. Because
Yes.
a lot of people, I mean, food service is hard work. And it burns a lot of people out.
I think we had a really special store. I think that it's possible also the time, I started working there in late September of 2001, I think, or maybe it was August of 2001, and worked there for about 4.5 or 5 years. And it was a really close-knit group, especially for the first couple of years. That first 2 to 3 years was a really close-knit, tight group of friends who just happened to work at McDonald's, which was a lot of fun. So it got a little rocky near the end. Less people I liked working with. The turnover rate started to tick up. I had more responsibilities because I had moved up the management chain as well. But I mean, I definitely do look back fondly on McDonald's. There are aspects of it. I always liked working with the public. I enjoyed, serving people. It's fun.